we get into that, of your REI career, but before we get into that, every day this week, we are going to be going live on a different step that we are going to be covering more in detail next week. So, Laura, do you kind of want to talk about a little bit of each day before we get into today's live? What
Yes.
they should expect.
Yeah, so the first step is crucial, and we're going to share with you why here in a moment and give you a case study of how this impacted the whole real estate career of one of our students, is choosing the right area. This is the most important thing because I see a lot of students spinning their wheels they come to us and they don't know which area, or they were told just do it in your own backyard or in an area that really proved too competitive and too hard to break into, right? I'm sure a lot of you agree that there is a lot of competition, quote unquote, out there, or some areas are harder than others. So we're going to cover here in a moment why that is important. Tomorrow we're going to talk about wholesaling. I know a lot of you love wholesaling. I love wholesaling. I call it my ATM machine. And we will share with you how you can start making money right away with wholesaling. So don't miss tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about rentals, buy and hold, how I created a passive income portfolio in 18 months with about $10,000 a month from passive rentals when I started over 30 years ago. And $10,000 in 91 was a lot of money, right? Then on Thursday, we're going to talk about fix and flip. We're going to talk how to really build a career into fixing houses. I know a lot of the ladies love that because HGTV and all these shows, they show about how lucrative it can be to fix homes and also give expression to your creativity. And Friday, we're going to talk about systems, how to put it all together so you don't leave money on the table. Now, in between all of this, we're also going to talk about contracts. We're going to talk about analyzing deals. We're going to talk how to find the money to really explode your business to the next level. Okay, but this week we're going to give you a little bit of a tidbit into each one of the strategies we're going to cover in depth. And by the way, this masterclass we're going to host next week is really very, very super affordable. It's a cost of a cup of coffee a day. So, that's it. That's all it takes for you to build your business in just 5 days. The whole 5 days, just one cup of coffee.
Now,
So with that said, Liz, you want to talk a little more about today, and let's
yeah.
get into why choosing the right area is important.
So a little bit of a feedback here is why we're covering something every day is so you see what's going on next week. And today, the most important thing I would say is the location of where you invest. And like Laura said, it really does, it matters. It matters more than anything else in your business. For example, I had a student that once didn't do the proper like location finding. We talked about that and we gave her instruction, and she went a few months without doing a deal, like a few months, like 6 months. And she was like, I'm doing all the steps you're telling us. I'm doing this. I'm reaching out to sellers. I'm saying what you're saying to say. And I said, let's go back and let's look at your location. This was during an intensive. I said, because if you're doing everything we say, something is wrong here. And so that's one of the benefits of working with the intensives with us. And so we went back and I said, it's your location. I said, did you run the numbers like we said? She's like, no, I just wanted to do this because I'm familiar with this area and I just felt it was better for what I wanted to do. And I was like, okay, well, you didn't listen to us, but great, okay. And so what we did, I said, well, this doesn't work. Look at these numbers. And we'll show you what numbers we're talking about during the masterclass next week. And she's like, oh my gosh, no wonder. It was way above what we tell her to look for as the average. And she went back and she redid the numbers. She came back to me. I approved the numbers and then she moved forward. And within 2 weeks, she had 2 deals under contract. So when I say that location is so important, location's important. So Laura, explain a little more about that. So I gave you like a little like live what happened here, a learning moment of what could happen if you do not have the right location. But Laura, talk about having the right location.
Sure. So one of the things is like Liz said, a lot of them are concerned because they say, well, I feel more comfortable in my own backyard. But it also can be very frustrating if your own backyard is not going to give you the results that you want, right? And we're talking about the whole strategy, wholesaling, buy and hold, and fix and flip, not just about specific one. Now, I would say that wholesaling and buy and hold are easier strategies to do virtually in our areas, and fix and flip takes a little more logistics. But regardless, it's all three strategies work. Now, the importance is because for your time and effort and money, okay, why don't you just go in an area that's easy to break into? Okay, why would you spend thousands of dollars, go through all these leads, set up a system to close one deal when you can do it for a fraction of the cost in another area? So just to give you an example here, like in our case study, I had a student a few years ago. He lived in the village in New York City, Peter, and he was living in the village. He says, I love New York City. He just lost his job in IT, making $250,000 a year, and he's like, real estate is the only one that can give me that type of money so I can stay here and live in New York City. However, he recognized that New York City was not going to be the right spot for him to do what he had to do. So, he went into Kansas City, Baltimore, Maryland, and Orlando. Now, why did he choose those three areas? Like I told him, I says, go to areas that you are familiar with somehow. That will be easier. So maybe you have boots on the ground there. Maybe you've been there to college or you have family there. And so he chose those three areas for those specific reasons. His parents live down in St. Augustine, Florida, which is pretty close to Orlando. So he says, I go there all the time anyway. He had friends in Baltimore and he went to school near Kansas City. So with that said, that was the three spots. And he built a booming business. He actually doubled his $250,000 IT job within the first year because he went in those areas. If he had done the same strategy in New York City, he probably wouldn't have been as successful because New York City, first of all, is harder to do certain things as far as flipping contracts or double closings. As far as rentals, you probably understand you barely break even if that. So it's not really conducive of a lot of strategies. So that's why it's the biggest thing to do. And in the masterclass, we are going to actually share with you how we choose the area. So we're not going to just talk about it. We're actually going to share you behind the curtains how we choose the area specifically. We're going to share with you online resources and tools, what we're looking for specifically on choosing the right area. So you will have the confidence that you're moving in the right direction.
Definitely. So I put the link into the description already for quick access. It's only $7, like Laura said. I mean, that's the cost of coffee, and you're gonna go a lot farther with this than a thing of coffee. And we're going, we're super excited. We have our pre-masterclass live that's gonna kind of go over everything and get everyone ready for Monday and what you need to do to be prepared for Monday. So that will be this Thursday, and we're just really excited to show up and be there. We're looking forward to it.
And don't miss tomorrow. We're going to do the live around the same time tomorrow. And that's going to be about wholesaling.
We'll be a little later. We have the mindset call at 11.
Okay. So it'll probably be around noon then, Eastern time. But we're going to talk about specifically wholesaling. So for all of you that are interested in wholesaling, you should be there. Now, let me share with you one thing that we're also going to talk in the masterclass. If you're not interested in wholesaling specifically, you say, I'm more interested in buying, hold, and fix and flip. That's fine. But let me ask you, what are you going to do with all the leads that you're not going to buy for rentals or to fix and flip, right? You're going to make money by wholesaling them. So it's very important that you be here tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that and really how to not leave the money on the table by knowing a little bit of all the strategies that you can work together.
Definitely. We're super excited. So we'll be back tomorrow. Stand by. We have the mindset call first, the REIW monthly call, and then we'll come on after that.